to that. But right now, one of my biggest expenditures is on my food, on my nutrition. And I became also like this superfood fanatic. I go to the herbalaries. I think that's how, los herbolarios, and they sell goji berries, they sell cacao nibs, and I'm like a fan of that. And that's why I resonate a lot with you. Would you mind telling us what are like the top superfoods in your diet?
Well, they change all the time because they feel like my children at this point. But I'm certainly always consuming medicinal mushrooms. One of my favorite is chaga mushroom, so I'll take that every morning. Chaga mushroom is an ancient kind of the grandfather of medicinal mushrooms, adaptogenic, so it adapts to what your body requires, and supporting stress levels. So these kinds of things are super important right now, and huge antioxidants. So medicinal mushrooms are a great tonic to drink in the winter, drink during COVID, just keep your immune system and your body regulated, because largely when the body's off, it's more susceptible to disease. And then, I'm a huge cacao chocolate guy, 100%.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's such a great phenylethylamine and
but not chocolate, right? We're not talking about chocolate. Are we talking
yeah,
about?
normal chocolate, not so good. High theobromine, 98. Well, listen, if people focus on 75, 80, 85, 90% cacao chocolate, then largely, and staying away from milk. I just did a podcast, Fatal Convenience, coming out on Thursday about the detriments of milk. So people can read that, especially detrimental for children. And just the fact that people still drink milk, it just blows me away. Living raw spirulina, not dried form, actually from a raw living that's frozen, so it's alive. It's got all the B vitamins.
What does that look like? Because I usually see they sell them in the powdered form.
Yeah, you lose especially a lot of the B vitamins. You lose a lot of the constituents, and you keep kind of some of the chlorophyll and some of that stuff, but it's really frozen in a paste. Oh, wow. So I don't know if I know Italy was creating a fully enclosed, I don't know what label that's under, but I know here in the States there's some incredible companies. I get those delivered all the time. And then listen, a diversity of adaptogens from maca to ashwagandha, astragalus. Schizandra is one of my favorites. Traditional Chinese medicine, one of the oldest herbs on the planet.
Schizandra, and how do you spell that? What is that?
Schizandra. Yeah. So we'll
put it in the show notes. No worries.
Yeah, Schizandra. Schizandra. There's a few other spellings of it, but Schizandra, traditional Chinese medicine. And then I'm a huge fan of Moringa Alofara, which is a leaf. It's a massive 35 antioxidants, chlorophyll, complete proteins. And of course, my favorite is the one I found out of Brazil in the Cerrado called barucas. So it's the most nutrient-dense nut in the world. We also have tree planting programs in the Cerrado.
Yeah, Max Lugavere was saying that it was like a peanut on steroids, right?
100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's converted a lot of people in terms of it's just so good tasting, and you wouldn't believe that it's so good tasting and has more nutrients than any nut. So it's so satisfying, and we just came out with a butter that is literally one of the best tasting butters you will ever have, I promise. So we're super stoked for that because it's helping the indigenous people, it's helping the environment down there, and it gets people good nutrition
Do you do shipping to Europe around this area?
Yeah, we're working on a better. The shipping costs have been so incredibly high, so we're working on that. I believe with Amazon and some other outlets right now. So it's been the shipping has been. I've heard some complaints about how, and we don't make money on shipping. It's just the certain cost coming from Brazil. But we're working on all of that, trying to scale all that up. But yeah, so there's. Gojis. I've consumed Gojis for probably 20 years. It's fantastic. Certainly.
How about the ones that are in any supermarket, like the foods that are superfoods but aren't so hard to reach?
Yeah, so I mean, superfoods. I mean, obviously, the definition of superfood is vague and specific at the same time. So it's only think of it as every calorie you take in, every bite you make, is it more nutrient dense than the other? So like an example is a bite of an apple compared to a bite of a donut. So in this comparison, an apple would be a superfood, say. But when you look at kale, chard, whatever, you want to make sure that you're, number one, not getting conventional food. If you can support local growers who are not using pesticides and stuff like that, and their soils are healthy, then largely that is not the same as the conventional. So you want to support that, and that largely will give you more nutrients, more antioxidants, and then support a community as well. So I would say that's superfood as well. So you want to try to get as locally sourced as possible and support those farmers markets as much as possible. So, and any kind of green, the super deep greens, spinach, kale, chards, things like that. And then one easy hack, one incredible superfood that anyone can make for cents, for 10 cents, you could put broccoli seeds in a mason jar and either put a rubber band over a cloth, or you get a mesh top. Yep. And so you can put about 3 to 4 tablespoons in a mason jar, and rinse it with water twice a day. And then over the next 5-6 days, all of those will sprout, and they're some of the greatest superfoods ever. Sulforaphane, antioxidants, protein, and it's literally costs you a few cents, and you've got an incredible salad that you can add to anything.
I'd never heard of that. That's crazy.
Incredible. And there's all kinds of different seeds, but specifically broccoli seeds and broccoli sprouts are some of the greatest superfoods you can consume.